So I started filming and then he's looking at me with so much love. He just wants my attention. So guess this is happening. Hey guys, this is Allure Cosplay and this is vlog number 8 out of my Mechaqueen series. I actually haven't filmed in 2 weeks and I've done a lot. So let's talk about it. First off, my gloves finally got their paint on them. So not only do they now have their armor, but I bought some fabric paint and painted the inside. This is the type of fabric paint I got. Fabric Creations in gold and in white. And so you can wash it. It's a washable kind of paint, but it will not come off of your fabric, if that makes sense. It's also really bendy, so it's not gonna crack or anything like that when I've moved my arms. What is something that's useful to know about these things? So when you apply the first layer, it's really not that white. And it's also gonna transfer through. So you're gonna have to do lots of layers until you get it to be this white. So you do a layer, let it dry, and continue on to something else, and then do another layer, and then let it dry and continue on to something else. And keep repeating that until it gets this white. It will get kind of shiny and like fabricy, but it moves really well. And it hasn't really cracked just yet. I am yet to see if it's going to crack, but I haven't really worn them for that long, so I'm definitely gonna let you know. Something that I learned when I was doing this, it really helps to coat the seams quite a lot so that from far away you don't really see them. So, and it was really hard, so I had to like put in lots and lots of actual paint inside the seams where the fabric is. Because the fabric bends, you'd see like a black line where the seam is, and that just looked really ugly, and you could definitely see it through the camera, so I decided to definitely cover that quite a lot. The other thing that I noticed is when I was moving my hands, you could kind of see the inside of my armor, so I coated that in white as well, and I kind of put some more white on the actual gloves so that it doesn't look like it's just ends there. Hopefully it kind of gives the illusion that it continues on. A bit of a design flaw on my part when I did my pattern for this. This seems to kind of conflict a little bit with my thumb, not like too much. But I definitely coated the inside as well with like a bunch of wood glue so that it's a lot smoother, so that it doesn't like rip my glove after I use it for quite a while, and it keeps kind of like catching on it and rubbing on it. So I didn't want my glove to rip, so I don't know. I sanded it a little bit and I just put some wood glue on top, and hopefully that will work. We shall see. It was really hard for me to paint my right hand with my left hand, so I'm actually still working on that. Once you actually start coating it, it starts transferring on the bottom, so your first few coats might transfer on your hand a little bit because my gloves are pretty thin. So I don't recommend to take off your glove once it's still drying, because you're gonna smear it on the inside and then it's gonna show up like a weird stain. So yeah, don't take your glove off unless it's like really dry, and you can feel it when it's dry and when it's wet. So to paint my right glove with my right hand, I put it this way on my left hand, so I can just do this and paint with it. I don't know, I'm really shaky with my left hand drawing on my right hand, or with my left hand drawing on anything, period. So that was really difficult for me. So that's the only way I figured out how to make it work. So another thing that I did is I actually primed and painted a lot of my pieces that were actually complete. And I only did that because it was actually warmer in Canada and it wasn't minus like 20 or minus 30, and I could actually use the Plasti Dip and plastied up my stuff. I can't do that otherwise because I live in an apartment building and I don't really want to spray that in my apartment. And I do have a back door and I can go outside and do it. But if it's -20 or -30, the stuff isn't gonna dry. It's just gonna freeze, bubble, kind of, I don't know, it does a weird thing. So yeah, I started painting my stuff. For the white part, I was just using a Canadian Valspar paint that I found at Lowe's. It's in matte. You can use any paint that you like that's acrylic, I believe, or you can spray paint it, but I didn't want to actually have to like tape everything off to like spray paint things, so I kind of prefer to just brush it on. I haven't actually weathered anything because I think I'm gonna wait until I have most of the pieces all painted and then I'm gonna weather them all. For the orange part, I need to keep coating that over and over and over again. I don't know if you guys have ever tried painting with orange acrylic. It's really see-through, so you have to coat it quite a lot to get it really orange and not see. It's a lot worse in real life, I think, than it is on camera, but that's okay. So that you don't really see like underneath kind of thing. For the bluish purple part, actually looking at it now in the camera, it looks a lot more accurate to what I was looking at the picture. But in real life, it's actually a lot darker. So I don't know if I'm going to leave it like that or not. I still haven't done like highlights and such, so maybe I'll just leave it this color. What I did to achieve this color is actually I mixed up these two. And why did I do that? Because I couldn't find a purplish blue that was a purplish blue like the picture. I don't know how else to explain it. So my reference photo, it looked like it was really blue, but with a purplish tinge to it. I just could not find one like that. So I got a deep blue and a deep purple and I mixed them together and it turned out a lot more blue than purple, but it's okay. That's kind of what I was going for. So I don't know, looking at it on camera now, I kind of like it. So maybe I'll stick with it. I'm not sure. So what I did is I just, I don't know, I had like a empty butter container or something, and I just poured both of them in there and I swished it around, and now all my purplish blue pieces are going to be the same color. For that, I'm going to wait until I have coated everything and I know I might not need that much more, and I'm going to just scoop a little bit just to have for touch-ups on the side. Then I'm going to mix some white in it, and then I'm going to do some highlights and things like that. Maybe I'll just divide it in half and put some black in one and put some white in the other one, or maybe I'll just use like oil-based black paint, which is what I usually use, and kind of put it in the crevices, and that makes it like nice and dirty. I was thinking about how to add some highlight to the white, and because that's a little tricky, because like for example there's a ridge right here, or like there are bends right here that you don't really see in certain lights but you do in other lights. So what I thought I was gonna do is I was maybe gonna use some eyeshadow or something to just put a shadow right next to the bridge kind of thing, and then I'll coat it in clear coat so that like the eyeshadow doesn't come off. I don't know, I'm gonna test it out and see if it works, and if it works I'm gonna put it in my vlog. If it doesn't, I'll probably still put it in my vlog and I'll tell you how it didn't work. So don't you hate how this happens? You're just painting and everything is nice and crisp, and then somehow a speck of white paint just flies across the table and just hits your freshly painted purple piece. Yes, that's what happened, and that's what happened to both of my pieces somehow. It's okay. I'm just gonna wait until I'm actually painting something else that's purple, and then I'll just paint over it. But this is how I made my shoe cover pieces. Let me talk about it. So this is the shoes that I'm using. I actually used those same shoes for my Armored Wonder Woman. I just kept the shoes because I've since sold the armor, and I decided to make a cover for the top because I didn't want to paint them, because painting shoes is just a pain, and I really don't want to do it. And every time I've done it before, it cracks. And I know there's like a certain kind of shoe paint out there that doesn't crack, but I've not found it yet. If you know it, you let me know in the comments, I guess. So what did I do? Actually, I just made a basic shoe cover. I took some black fabric that I had from like making the cape of my Death Knight, I believe. I think that's what it was left from. And I literally just like wrapped the shoe on both sides and I pinned it over here. And then I cut it out with a little bit of seam allowance. And then I cut it out from the top and from the bottom with some seam allowance. And I folded it over from the top and from the bottom to the inside. And I sewed it up to here all together and left this open. Now, why did I leave that open? Because my shoes have zippers on them. So in order to actually put them on, I need to put the zipper down, and I can't actually put my foot in there anyway if it's fully closed up top. I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I did. And I also put an elastic underneath. And here is what it looks like. And actually here's what it looks like on the shoe. These little bubble things, they're actually magnets. I know they look funny without the actual stuff on. There's the, I know this one is a little crooked, but that's okay. It actually keeps the shoe pretty well. This is just like elastic, and this is where I've sewn it to go underneath, just like that. Just because this fabric really frays, so I didn't want it to start like fraying everywhere when I was walking and like falling apart just because it was fraying so much. So that's what I did. I just sewed it on the bottom, sewed it up top, I sewed it up to here, and then this actually opens up like that, so I can put my zipper down, put my foot in, put my zipper up, and then Velcro these two pieces together. This is already glued on. I haven't weathered it or clear sealed it, and I probably should have done that before I actually glued it on the shoe cover, but I was just careless and I did it too quickly and I didn't think about it. And now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably what I should have done, is actually waited until everything is fully painted and then stuck it on. Yeah, maybe I'll do that next time. So these little magnet pieces, I have some on this side and on this side. I think I'm gonna apply some more heat on this to like shape it a little bit more closed up kind of thing. But we just make sure each one clips. Well, that was not a good, that was not a good idea. Alright, what did I just do? I went to check if what I was thinking about doing is gonna work, and hopefully it does, and if it doesn't, I'll let you know. So what I just did is I just went and heated up the inside of this so that it's not as white as this. Let's see if it works, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to Velcro both sides, and maybe that will work a lot better. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, I really had to wiggle it this time. We shall see how this works. If it doesn't work that well, I'm probably just gonna put a Velcro piece instead of the magnet on here and on here, and probably a strip down here so that it really holds it down. I really didn't want to listen to the crinkling noise of Velcro slightly coming off every minute, so I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm gonna attach that anymore, because it was working before, but shaking it off right now, I don't know, when you walk it might just come off. So yeah, this just happened in my vlog. See, I was going to reshoot this whole vlog just because of this last part. However, I'm going to leave it just so that it shows that even when you think that you're prepared and you know something, and you might not. So yeah, we're always learning. So I want to talk about how I made this armor. Actually, what I did is I put my shoe on and I covered it in, I think it was a plastic bag because I ran out of plastic wrap. So I just got like a small plastic bag and I put it on top and I put a bunch of tape on top of it, and then I drew my pattern and then I cut it out and I put it on paper. So this is like the front, and then the other pieces are like going around kind of thing. What I did a little bit differently than the picture is that in the picture, this is like a very straight kind of a pattern, and I actually gave it a slight bend over here so that it does a little bit of this rather than this, because otherwise these sides over here really stick out, and when you're walking with both of your feet, they like rub into each other, and I had that very problem with my Blood Off Death Knight, I believe, and that's how my feet were, and like I had to keep my feet apart. But that's how the design was, and I didn't want to alter it, so I didn't. But this time I wanted to alter it because I had that problem before. So yeah. So what am I gonna work on next? I was thinking about starting the shoulder pads, but I think I'm going to start with the wings and get that out of the way because they're really intimidating to me and I've never done anything like that before, so we'll see how it goes. I actually got some insulation foam and some PVC pipe, and I just need to find like a big giant paper to actually make the template for it, but I'm sure I'm gonna find some Christmas paper or something like that. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna start working on next, and wish me luck, guys. Hopefully the next video or next vlog will be about how I succeeded at my wings and not how I failed at making my wings. Anyways, happy cosplay. Like, favorite, subscribe. You know all the drill. And see you in the next video. Bye.